Hi there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Defrag in Progress. I'm Cardwell, and today I wanted to hit on a heavy subject that's kind of what caused me to really start thinking about doing stuff like this. You know, to have a conversation about heavy subjects, and hopefully others can relate. And hopefully, this is one of the ones that can do that, where people might be able to reach out and have a similar feeling about it. And it's about depression, really. You know, we all suffer through it. Most of us go through it worse than others, but and with this depression comes ways to cope with it, right? Ways to get past it, to push forward, and I'm going to show you a few video games that really have helped me push through this life because, have to do something. It's what I've always done and enjoyed and played. It's my major hobby that I've always had. Maybe through this journey together, through defrag and progress, getting thoughts out of my brain, we can talk that, and in this gloomy mood, of course, that we can talk through it together. So join me on this little adventure through defrag and progress with video games that help me push forward. Let's get to it, shall we? Now, this might be a weird one. It's definitely not the oldest one in the list, but Hotline Miami, the first one, of course, it came out around 2012, but honestly, I don't even know when I played it. I just knew that it looked awesome. It looked super fun, but probably didn't do anything because for maybe a year or 2 years, I didn't even touch video games in my life. I was just focusing on survival and trying to get a house, which I was able to do, thankfully. But even after all that, all the struggle of doing that, I just did not care about video games. I got kind of destroyed at the hopes of other certain games that came around before then and was just done. Maybe it was just watching people review it and everything, but this game put me back into wanting to care about playing video games. And some of us, most of the time, that is okay to happen. Like, if you're having a struggle to find anything that feels good, looks good, or is anything enjoyable to play, don't feel sad about it. Be okay with it. It's okay to stop wanting to do something during times of, I don't know, just any part of your time of life, really. If you just get tired of watching movies, don't watch movies for a while, until something that can catch your eye and get you going again. But that's what happened to me. And Hotline Miami was one of the most important ones, and that's why it's first. With its frenetic gameplay, its amazing soundtrack. And of course, I'm not trying to sound like a psychopath here or anything, but just, I guess, the visceral of this game, of how crazy it can get, but how fast paced it is. Even though, the game, you die. You die a lot, constantly, with small mistakes, big mistakes. It just, anything can cause you to restart the game. And the fact that it just lets you restart immediately, it really, I don't know, something cathartic about that, right? Like, of course, it gets to the point of not actually caring about the violence. You're just trying to pull off combos. You're trying to survive. You're trying to get to the end of the story, which is crazy, and just something about being able to create all this fun carnage and pumping to the music and having this flow in life that you just don't really get all too often, and to be able to better your skills. And I think that's where it comes with the helping of depression, is you die, you restart immediately. You go in, you reassess the situation, you get to try something new, try something different. You get to restart again and keep going until you're able to, beat the stage. And it feels amazing after you do it. You feel that sense of you accomplished something, even if it is, murdering a bunch of hitmen around in very, very gruesome ways. And this game will always have a special place in my heart. Sometimes I will do a whole night bent of just playing this one and the second one, which the second one is fantastic as well. I feel like it's a little too long in the tooth, but overall, they're worth picking up playing. If you feel stuck in playing anything or not really caring about video games, I would suggest this quick, easy pickup. You can beat it about 4 or 5 hours once you get into the groove of things, and it's just amazing. So thank you, Hotline Miami, for helping me get through some rough times.
Well met, noble paladin. It's been a while since I've seen any of your kind in the West. It would be an honor to aid you in any way that I can.
Now, of course, I cannot let this stand by and make this video without talking about one of the greatest games in my whole life, and that is Diablo 2. I remember playing Diablo 1 at a friend's house because I did not have a computer. Hell, I didn't even have a house phone until I was a junior in high school. All right, guys, that's how living in the analog days worked back in the day. But I had a friend who had a computer who introduced me to the first Diablo, and it was a life-changing experience for a nerd. Like, you get to level up. It was dark. It was gothic. It was like horror. Like, it was pretty gruesome to see back then. And then the first time I was able to basically beg for a computer just for Diablo 2 before it came out, it was one of the greatest moments of my life. In this game, no matter when, no matter what, if I need comfort food, if I need to not have a bad month for that, just for that night, I will kick this on and just try to level up a character as much as possible until you get to the point of you're just like, okay, I'm done here. But I remember every other year getting an old friend to come and play this game with me, and we can get up to at least, hell difficulty and level 70 plus, never kind of finishing it, sadly. Never be able to actually beat hell. And I know that's probably blasphemy for all the hardcore fans out there, but this game is solid. The loot grind is amazing. It's fun. I think it's fair. Even the simple skills and stats of trying to figure out what to put it in for late game or that game at the moment is worth it. And Diablo 2 has always been there for comfort food. I don't know if you have not been able to play this. I know most people play Diablo 3 nowadays, which is another video of disappointment. But this game, I have to give it praise for helping me throughout my whole life, actually. And as you can see in some of our other videos here on the island, I will be wearing a Diablo hoodie. Like, I've been to 2 BlizzCons just for Diablo 3 to see what it was before it came out. And it's something that will always be a part of my life. And even if I get a tattoo, it would probably be a Diablo tattoo. A Diablo 2 one for sure. When you're feeling down, you just need some mindless fun to be able to go into a mob and start just demolishing them. And then the story as well, through Cain and all the acts and having to defeat Diablo, and definitely Duriel in Act 2. It just brings a peace. So thank you, Diablo, for being a part of my life. If depression could be a character, a video game or movies or any sorts, I would have to claim it as a rogue, right? Just go around enjoying your day, trying to do the best that you can, and you get stabbed in the back. Cloak and dagger sort of tactics takes you out for the rest of the day, pretty much. Either trying not to bleed on the inside, take care of your surroundings, and just get through the day. But if you notice, most of these games have a theme, right? And it's the fact that of dying is a part of the game. The fact that most of the games you go through, you try your hardest, you die, and you're quickly back to your feet. Coming back to try to do it all over again. Try to take one more step forward than you did the last time. And that's really the trick of all this. You just got to keep pushing forward. No matter how many times you die inside, you have to, see what the next day has ahead of you. See if you can conquer that day further than you did your last.
Wake up. We're here. Why are you shaking? Are you okay? Wake up. Stand up. There you go. You were dreaming. What's your name? Well, not even last night's storm could wake you. I heard them say we've reached Morrowind. I'm sure they'll let us go. Quiet. Here comes the guard.
Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind is my favorite game of all time. So no wonder it could be on this list to help me through depression, right? This was one of the first experiences I had with a real RPG. Like, I was a JRPG fan, you know, Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, all this stuff was amazing. But when this came out, and I played it on Xbox, by the way, the original, you know, 8-pound baby Jesus Xbox, and it was amazing. Played it day and night. My friends, we played it all together on my system. We each got an hour, and I was playing with 2 other friends. So therefore, I had to wait 2 hours to play this, and they waited 2 hours to get their turn too. And it was just a weird, fun time that we had while growing up. The fact that the game was so powerful, immersive, and amazingly different for all 3 of us shows you the power of this game. And of course, you know, Skyrim, which you know, has been sold on 50 different types of electronics. Probably even can run on a watch by now, but I digress. This game, with this amazing soundtrack, the atmosphere, be able to basically almost do whatever you want, especially with the magic system where you can craft whatever enchantments you need, capture the souls of gods. I've even seen this game beat without going through the main story, and that's all thanks to one of my friends I was just talking about. Like, he tested the theory out of like, hey, can we actually do this? And yeah, you can do this. Quite amazing. So I guess the part of this what helps cure my depression is just the world. To be able to be like, hey, you think I could do this? And you try to do it, whether it works or not. Go master your skills, level up, make yourself better. You know, it's all about grinding to do certain things, to go on adventures, and making yourself better. And I think that's what I've learned from it is to keep pushing. Like, work on your strengths, tinker out your weaknesses. And who doesn't like to be a hero of a story? Especially as like fantastical and epic as this one. You go to each town, you go to each guild, you try to fit in of whatever your skills are. You become the master of that guild, you become the master of the world and the hero of the world. It's the immersion of a world, and you're doing the best you can to change it for the good. Well, I guess some people can do the evil route as well, but just to feel important. So thank you, Morrowind, for actually pushing me forward to try to better myself.
Cerberus cannot be bothered at this time.
You are the best, you know that, don't you, boy?
Hades is the last one for this video, and I cannot tell you how much it's helped me in the past years. So I immediately, when it was in the beta, I bought it, I played it because I love Supergiant. I'm gonna make a whole video about them, of how much love I have for them. But this game, especially in the past few months, half a year, has continuously helped me get past some rough things. So I would wake up in the middle of the night, probably 2 or 3 morning, completely awake, hating life going through my brain. You know, that moment where you just can't shut off your brain because of that one thing that's been causing you the depression or the pain that you've been receiving. And then it just kept me awake. And this game was able to be here for me to do a run, 1 run, 2 runs, 3 runs, just to get me tired enough so I can pass out, 4 hours later. And I have to give it to it. Like, the music is brilliant. The story, even though I've beat it, I've seen the credits roll, I've pushed many runs afterwards, that it keeps going. Every little thing that you do matters. And even like decorating the hall, it has a story that you bought for this rug, you know, it has a story that you buy things for your room. Or you go through a run with a certain weapon and the gods will respond to it, and it's just beautifully crafted.
A delicately crafted instrument of music making now resides within the clamor-causing prince's chambers, doubtless fearing, if it could, his heavy-handed touch.
Can't be that hard to play, can it?
The combat is so perfect. The gameplay is tight. Whatever, it responds to every single button you touch, every action you want to do, it does it for you with no hindrance. And then you die, right? Or if you finish a run, you restart pushing forward. This game makes it where death is a reward for you to return, come back, to keep pushing again. No matter how much you achieved or failed, you come back with the new knowledge of what to do next. And we already talked about that in the video of, you know, themes. That's the most of the themes of like falling apart or even achieving something and be like, you know what? Let's try something new. Let's go ahead and push forward. Because even if you get everything you want or you achieve your goal, you're going to be needing something else. Or I guess a very new age thing to think about is like Netflix. Like, right, you binge watch a show. After the show is done, you feel pretty empty. Sometimes. I don't know if you do, but I know most people do. I sometimes do. And then you're like, well, I need a new show. And then this game has really made it where it just helped me to keep pushing forward. And I have to thank Supergiant Games for making this in a timely manner for me to be able to trick my mind into focusing on the gameplay and the amazing story, and to just keep my hands busy. You know, the game requires a lot of action from you. I'm glad it was here.
The underworld prince is getting rather good at this, but let us say he perished anyhow.
Thank you.
You know, one of my favorite things I heard a very long time ago, actually on a podcast, was when you are depressed and you start getting into your, basically to your position where it's hard to function, the best thing to do is to focus on one thing. One good thing that you can do tomorrow or the next week. Don't plan out too far ahead. Don't worry about anything but trying to do that one thing as you do all your other life subjects. Therefore, you can push forward and, you know, not think about it. And that's what most of these games have done for me. And with this list, I hope something triggers in the fact that you can, you know, talk to me in the comments. Let me know what things in all media of books, movies, video games that you go to let you, you know, your mind wander and pass, and or things that you do to, you know, comfort yourself pretty much. If we start getting enough comments, because, you know, this is a fresh show, so I'm trying to gain the audience here, and if maybe go through our Patreon, there's a link down below, and I might start talking about actually doing videos of people commenting and talking about them and sharing your responses to the world as well. Maybe it'll help someone, you know. That's what we're here for. We're here to entertain the world, is what my ultimate goal is with this channel. And maybe through this we can, you know, help you as well as entertain you. With that, again, my name is Cardwell. This has been Defrag in progress here at Geektopia Island, and hopefully you enjoyed your stay. Now let's not mess this up, shall we?
Also, guys, make sure you hit that like button down below and subscribe to our channel, and then hit that bell for any future notifications that you have for our videos.
And we go ahead and give a big thank you to our fans for over the years, especially our Mythic and Above Patreon followers.
Thank you, Ryan.
With that, we love you. Thank you for your support.